I'm Bill Schindler. I'm a professor of archaeology at Washington College on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and I'm a patient of Dr. Perl's. I've always had some sort of an issue with my eyes. I started wearing glasses, I think at the age of 7 or 8. I started wearing contacts in high school, but it wasn't until I started college that I really started having major issues with my eyes, an issue that went undiagnosed for several years. The ophthalmology students at Ohio State tried desperately to keep my vision intact, and it just wasn't working, and nobody could diagnose what was wrong with me. Eventually, that led several years later to me failing out of school. It wasn't until after battling this for 4 or 5 years that I returned home and my mother realized that this was a severe issue, that I was legally blind, that she made it her life's mission to figure out what was wrong with me and try to get me help. Within a few weeks, she found a doctor that could diagnose me. He couldn't help me, but he pointed me in the direction of somebody that could. And this first doctor that started me on my path to regaining my eyesight fitted me with these very uncomfortable hard contacts. Glasses wouldn't work, soft contacts wouldn't work. My keratoconus was just way too bad, but these hard contacts could. This was also the time period where I really started to become very interested in archaeology and was a field archaeologist. And these contacts, while they could help my eyesight in the classroom or around the house, were almost useless in the field. You know, as an archaeologist, I'm around dirt and sweat and dust, and all of that would get trapped underneath the contacts, and I would be on my knees in tears several times a day. In addition to field archaeology, most of my work is with prehistoric technologies. I replicate prehistoric stone tools and ceramics and fibers and ancient foodways to better understand the archaeological record. And as a result of this, I was recently contacted by a major television network for a brand new, really groundbreaking show that they were laying the groundwork for. And so I didn't know what I was going to do. There was no way for me to take advantage of this opportunity and wear contacts at the same time. The conditions were just too extreme and too unsanitary. So I brought this opportunity up to Dr. Pearle, and I was surprised to learn that he'd actually been doing PRK on corneal transplants for years. I didn't even think that was an option. We discussed my situation and both agreed that that was the best course of action. After undergoing the PRK treatment, my vision drastically improved. I could get out of my contacts, and I eventually reached 20/20 vision. This was the perfect time for this to happen. I was literally traveling to 10 of the most beautiful remote places in the world, and I got to see them all with my own eyes. I have struggled with vision my entire life. It impacted my ability to play sports, eventually resulted in me failing out of school, but eventually I started on a road to recovery. And even though that recovery was difficult, after 10 years, I finally received my undergraduate degree and eventually went on to earn my master's and my PhD, and now I'm a college professor. Because of the PRK surgery, my life was transformed. I was able to take advantage of a television opportunity that allowed me to travel to 10 of the most remote and beautiful places in this world and to teach to a huge audience in 171 different countries what I'm passionate about. And I will say at each place I stopped and I truly thought about Dr. Perl at every single place. I mean, it was since I was 5 years old, it's the first time in my life I could do that. And you know, one of the coolest things was when I came home on one of the breaks, we went to the beach, and it's the first time I've been able to watch my kids in the ocean, period, ever.